What's going on, everyone? So Giannis Antetokounmpo time with the Milwaukee Bucks, it feels inevitable. Right? It feels like it's coming to an end. At this point, it feels like a matter of when, not if he's going to get traded. Giannis even recently himself spoke on his future, and he said, I'm locked in right now with the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm here with the Milwaukee Bucks, but I could change my mind in the future. And, we've got reports all off season. You've heard, even reports recently that hey, Milwaukee's not out of the woods yet. Giannis at any point could request a trade. This feels like I'm going to get through this season because next season I'll have a lot more power is what this feels like, right? Because if Giannis requests a trade this year, right, he doesn't have the leverage to force and dictate where he wants to go because he would have had 2 years still on his deal. So there are teams that would have taken it and just made the trade in the hopes that either A, you get a Kawhi Leonard situation where you get him but for an extra year, maybe win a championship during that time, and then if he leaves, it doesn't matter. You won, right? You got your NBA championship. Or you're hopeful that you get a Donovan Mitchell situation where you get him for 2 years, and in that 2 years, he settles in, gets comfortable enough where you're able to convince him to stick around, right? So teams would be lining up. I mean, every team in the league would try to trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo this NBA offseason because it's we'd have him at least 2 years. So it gives a 2-year window to try to go all in and win a championship, right? And then if you win, you look like the big geniuses and the big players and yada, yada, right? So Giannis wouldn't have a ton of say, if any say at all, right? Because Milwaukee's just selling him to the highest bidder. So if that is, Utah, guess what? He's going to Utah. If that is, wherever, he's gone, right? Wherever that is, if that's, Charlotte, he's going to Charlotte, right? Which might not be the ideal situation for him. But if he plays ball this year, right, goes into this season, and Milwaukee's not very good this season, and he requests a trade, one, he looks like Mr. Nice Guy, right? Dude, I tried. I gave it one more shot. They went and got Miles Turner. They asked me to stick. I did it. I tried. Just not meant to be. It's time for me to move on. I think Milwaukee Bucks fans even understand at this point, right? I'm sure Milwaukee Bucks fans are please don't go to teams like the Lakers or anything like that. Don't do a Kareem situation. But for the most part, I think most Milwaukee Bucks fans understand, hey, it's time for Giannis to go, right? This is running its course. All Milwaukee's doing is hurting themselves and digging deeper and deeper holes to try to appease Giannis and do it. Now you wave and stretch Damian Lillard when he probably would have just opted out next season. Now you're stuck paying him, $25 million for the next few years. You have no control over any of your assets. You're running out of options in any way to just improve the roster even slightly. You just keep digging, rather than just coming to the realization of it's time to move on from Giannis. And what's going to end up happening is Milwaukee's going to end up putting themselves in such a deep hole. They're still not going to win anything. Yes, they'll have Giannis through his retirement, and then he retires, and now you're going to be in the hole for another 10 years. And you're not winning. It's going to be a Kareem to Giannis situation all over again, where you're not going to win anything for 30 years, right? If you're Milwaukee, at some point, you yourself have to cut the cord. You get through this season, both sides look at, we tried one more last go. We tried one more last hoorah. We want to do right by Giannis, right? We're going to send him where he wants to go. Giannis gets to come in. Hey, I tried. I gave it one last shot. Didn't work out. Now we're going to try to find a trade for me, right? And now Giannis also has all the power, because now he is going into a contract year. 2026, you got to remember, 2027, he's a free agent. He'll be an unrestricted free agent. So now there are teams, don't get me wrong, that would absolutely do the Kawhi Leonard situation still. We get 1 year, one shot with Giannis. Let's make it happen, right? There are teams, Cleveland could maybe make some sense, right? Man, get rid of Jaren Jackson, get rid of some of these guys, right? Do a trade. We got one shot with Giannis. Maybe we can convince him to stay. If he stays, beautiful. If he doesn't, as long as we win, who cares? But if he ends up leaving, we still have Evan Mobley and Donovan Mitchell to retool and revamp everything, right? Just using them as an example, right? But Milwaukee's in a weird spot, period, because Milwaukee can't fully bottom out. They don't have any control over their picks for the next 8 years or whatever it is. So they need players to be competitive. So Milwaukee needs to find a team that has players that can keep them, at least above water, while also trying to get guys young enough to maybe have some upside and potential to where maybe you could be a good team, as well as getting assets and everything else. It's a tough spot, right? Because if you're Milwaukee, you don't want to just go trade for a bunch of young players, right? You don't want to take on a bunch of bad contracts because, you need to at least stay afloat and be competitive. Last thing you want is to get a bunch of number one picks and it goes to these other teams, right? So it's just, the Milwaukee Bucks are just in such a rock and a hard place right now. You need a very specific and particular package for that. And now Giannis, if he plays ball this season, is going to go into next offseason and he's going to have all the power, right? Because again, if a team like Detroit is like, hey, we'll give you Jaden Ivey and Jalen Duren and whatever else, right? We'll give you all these young guys and all this other stuff just so we can pair Cade Cunningham with Giannis Antetokounmpo, right? If Giannis goes, I don't want to be in Detroit, right? I'm not signing a new extension in Detroit. I'm going to leave and go elsewhere. Is Detroit now making that trade? Probably not, right? And that would be an ideal scenario for a team. You get two young, you get a center, you play alongside Miles Turner, or you could look to trade Miles Turner, whatever, right? And then, you go get a young guard that can, play in at either guard position, right? Plus you get a bunch of picks and assets and all these other things, right? You could be in a good position. A team like the Spurs or whatever, right? There is a path and a version to where you might be able to get a really nice package for Giannis, but if at any point Giannis goes, don't want to go to that team, appreciate it, yeah, not going to that team, now you're in trouble. Now you're in a spot where it's okay, how do you make this? How do you make this work? How does this pan? It's a really tough spot for the Bucks to be in, which is why I said this offseason, the Bucks probably should have made the decision to just trade Giannis. At what point do you just see the picture? I know that they don't want to be the organization to trade Giannis, but if you work together, right? If you talk to Giannis, you at least have the conversation. Hey, what do you want to do? We're not going to be able to build this team to a real contender. Let's be honest here. Do you want to stick around and be a Buck and we'll do the best that we can? And look, maybe they did have the conversation, but we'll do the best that we can. But realistically speaking, you're probably not going to be on a contender. All we're doing is just digging ourselves a deeper hole. Where do you want to go? We'll try to do right by you. Give us a handful of teams you want to go to, and we'll try to get the best return for them. We won't send you to a team that you don't want to go to, right? But we want to get the best return and package possible. Why have that conversation? And then if Giannis goes, no, I want to stick around, well, then now you don't have to trade. Now you don't have to do anything. Now you don't have to be the bad guy. But now if you guys are working together, hey, it's in the best interest for the team, right? We want to do right by Giannis. He brought us an NBA championship. You look good. Everything looks good. Giannis looks good. The organization looks good. Now it's you'll probably still all look good in the end, but it's just, you've set yourself just another year back. And all Giannis has done is just wasted another year. They're not winning an NBA championship this year. I don't get it. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.